Hello everyone, my name is Funing. I am a rising senior at Wellesley College, double majoring in computer science and English. And today I'm very excited to talk a little bit about my day in the life as a program manager intern working at Microsoft. So the term program manager might be a little bit confusing to some of you, and you see a lot of different titles of the so-called PM role. So for example, we have a program manager role, a product manager role, a project and manager role, and sometimes they might have other terms like technical program manager, technical project manager, or engineering project manager, etc. And all of these terms mean different kinds of PM work, and they have different definitions in different companies or even different parts of a company. But generally, I think from my experiences interning at Microsoft as a PM intern for 2 summers is that a program manager at Microsoft is a little bit similar to a combination of product management and also some project management work. And sometimes it has a more flavor of technical work depending on the specific team that you're working on. So for example, I worked in Microsoft Teams last summer, and the work was mostly focused on user experiences and has a very strong emphasis on the feature work. And also there are a lot of components of the project management in it. But this summer, that I'll be talking a little bit more, that I am working in a more technical team, and my role is more similar to a technical program manager role with more architectural components and less on the user experience component. So what is the project that I'm working on this summer? I am interning at Azure Compute, which is Microsoft's cloud computing platform. And my project is very new, a very startup-like project that enables me to have a lot of opportunities to dive in and actually get my hands dirty, to be able to wear a lot of hats. And basically, I'm working on an end-to-end customer workload simulation system to validate and uphold quality experiences for customer experiences on Azure. And we're hoping that by this, through the implementation of this program, we'll be able to gain more customer trust on the Azure platform, which is aligned with the mission that Microsoft has for its Azure platform to be the most reliable cloud. And I'm very glad that the project I'm working on is having a lot of impact for the entire team and also for the overall org as well. So what is my day-to-day like? It is actually very interesting that my role is divided into several different pieces, I call it. The first part is that I write the design specs, or people call it the product specification, and I basically, in those design specs, I will be learning about the different customer workloads and Azure services that they're using on the platform. And also, because my project is really new, I'm ideating the processes and trying to come up with a standard and the system with the one-pager design specs that will eventually go on to be a more specific document with more architectural designs and some technical components in it. And the second part is about analytical or the data side of things. And I am using a tool called Azure Data Explorer, which is very similar to SQL if some of you have experience with it. And basically, this is a very useful skill for a lot of PMs on Azure and technical teams at Microsoft, that we do write those queries daily to analyze the user data and to gain more insights from our analytics, and we are able to connect those queries and their results to the dashboard called the Power BI dashboard. Maybe some of you have experiences with it. as well. So as a PM, it's really important to gain insights from our user data and define those metrics for success. So it is really useful to be really analytical, and you always are very sharp about the customer data and user statistics. And another important part is communications. It is really everywhere in my job, and wherever you are, I think that component will never leave you in an industry setting. So I talk to various types of people that I work with. So for example, I talk to the developers or the engineers, and talk to the other technical PM managers, product managers, and I talk to architects and also data scientists, and maybe many more as my internship goes on. But I do have a wide range of exposure to those different types of roles at Microsoft that help me to maybe think about the other potential areas that I might be interested in to pursue for the future. And in those communications, sometimes we'll talk about the specs, sometimes we'll talk about data insights and further collaboration opportunities, and sometimes they're helping me to get a better understanding of the Azure data structure and the architecture backend of the customer workloads on Azure. So I would usually learn a lot from those meetings. So what is my favorite part of my internship? I am really happy that I get assigned this very open-ended project that is that consists of a lot of deep and challenging problems, which involves a lot of stakeholders. So it does stretch me a lot in terms of I do need to make a lot of definitions and never make any assumptions about things, because we are all learning with a full-time PM together on those ambiguities and how we could best navigate them. So I feel like it is definitely a very different experience from a very well-structured project that maybe my mentor or my manager already knows how to do and already knows that how much time it's going to take me to do it. And on the contrary, my project is sort of in an uncharted waters. And I feel very encouraged to be the pioneer to investigate those areas and to be able to contribute a lot to my team. So what is my biggest challenge? I think that the role of navigating ambiguities definitely has the other side, which is sometimes it can be really frustrating. We have some pushbacks about investment areas because sometimes I'm new to the team and I make those recommendations that might be pushed back by some more experienced team members, saying that, oh, this doesn't fit well with the use case that we're having there. And in those times that it is always good to come back and to reflect more about what you have done and how could we improve this to meet and align with our overall need. And it is also really important to try to unlock oneself when there is a problem lying before you and you are learning how to solve it. And it is not always easy, but I am definitely finding my way to learn about it. So what is the typical schedule like in my day? So basically, I currently live on the East Coast, while most of my team members are located in the West Coast, in Redmond area. Well, we do have another set of team members currently located in India. So the time difference can make it a little bit tricky to schedule meetings that fit into everyone's business hours, but we try to be as inclusive as possible, and everyone is very understanding about the hours that you want them to accommodate you for. And as for my typical schedule, I still work in the business hours for decide my business hours in East Coast. So I usually start around 9 to 10, and I get up work around 6 or 7. And occasionally, due to given the demands and my workload, I might add in some few evening hours, maybe after I have had some evening commitments, personal commitments, and I will come back to my desk for a couple hours of work, but that is not usually the case. So I think that in a time like COVID, where everyone is working from home and adjusting to their own situations, I think Microsoft does have a good job in accommodating their employees by giving them the time that they need. And as an intern, I do feel that I really enjoy this kind of flexibility, and also the trust that they have in you to get your work done, and not instead of just checking how many hours you have worked every day. So what kind of tools that I use every day as a PM? So there are certain types of tools for the Agile development methods. I use the Azure DevOps, or the ADO for short. That it is a friendly name that Microsoft people always refer it to. And basically it is an all-in-one tool that connects to the development and also the task and the sprint boards for you to make your planning and connect it to actual development work. And for prototyping, it is really hard without an actual whiteboard. So for my substitutes, I will usually sometimes use PowerPoints or even Word, or just do some simple sketching on a page on the actual notebooks that I have. And for analytics tools, I use mostly Azure Data Explorer and also the Power BI dashboard. And for communication tools, I use Teams and Outlook Calendar and Outlook Email, which are the #1 communication tools that Microsoft use. So that is all for my presentation. I hope that this is somewhat informational and can help you guys with navigating some of your choices as a PM or like aspiring person in the product role. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learn a little bit about what is it like as a program manager at Microsoft. It is really different working in different parts of a company if a company is of the size of Microsoft or similar tech companies. So I definitely enjoy learning a lot, and hopefully if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and wish you guys best of luck.